Mr. Harsh V. Pant, Distinguished Fellow and Head of ORF's Strategic Studies Program. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, the India-Bangladesh relations, the same question to you. In the post-pandemic world, our special focus, Prime Minister Modi has described Bangladesh as a key pillar of India's neighborhood-first policy. How do you think the relations will progress in the post-pandemic world?
Well, this is a transformative moment I think in three ways. One is Indian foreign policy, which is looking at the region through a very distinct lens compared to what it used to be. Very much focused on the Western sector, very much focused on the Western side of the equation. So we have now moved to a position where Bay of Bengal has become critical to India's positioning in the region and beyond. In fact, Indo-Pacific the role that Bay of Bengal is today playing in the larger envisioning of the Indo-Pacific makes Bangladesh a very, very important partner for India. It is also a transformative moment for Bangladesh, given how far Bangladesh has come, how interestingly and importantly and significantly it is doing when it comes to its own economic rise. It's a great success story in South Asia, which needs to be celebrated by both Bangladeshis as well as Indians, as well as the larger South Asian context. It is also a transformative moment in the India-Bangladesh bilateral ties, given the historical moment that this is. And I think Prime Minister is symbolizing this by making Bangladesh the first country that he's visiting in the post-COVID era. Clearly a central pillar for our neighborhood first policy, but also a central pillar for our Act East policy, linking South Asia, linking India's eastern frontier to Southeast Asia. So I think there are larger issues here which this visit is symbolizing, of course, underpinned by the people-to-people relations between the two countries that were very warm, in fact, from the very beginning. But I think what the vaccine diplomacy is doing is taking it to another level. The India's, as your reporter was mentioning earlier, that Prime Minister is coming with another set of COVID vaccines, and the significance cannot be lost that here is India, which is facing its own set of domestic challenges, and yet is trying to help its neighborhood, its neighboring countries, in particular Bangladesh and others, in ways that perhaps are inconceivable when you're looking at European countries today, which are all about hoarding and nationalism. So I think this is a very important moment in India-Bangladesh ties.
All right, and also during the virtual summit in December 17th, 2020, India committed to promptly deliver Bangladesh the COVID-19 vaccines and to remove non-tariff barriers to reset the positive course for bilateral ties. And India also sent 9 million doses to Bangladesh. And as Siddhant just mentioned, 1.2 million doses of vaccines are to be gifted. What can you tell us about the significance of this?
Well, see, the point that I think India has always made when it came to its vaccine diplomacy is that, of course, it is in India's interest that its neighbors get the vaccines, because we live in a neighborhood where you cannot isolate India from the larger implications of what happens in the neighborhood, and therefore it is important for India that its neighbors become part of the larger medicines and vaccination drive. But what is also important is that now that you are looking at the situation, and you are looking at a situation where India is facing domestic crunch, where India is making this argument about that it needs to vaccinate its own people at a much higher scale, given the challenges and given the rising numbers. The significance that Prime Minister Modi is again underscoring with bringing with him another set of vaccines is that India still looks at its role as a regional security provider in the health sector very, very seriously. That India is willing to share with its neighbors, even at a critical time like this, the benefits of vaccination, benefits of the pharmaceutical industry that India is able to provide. And I think India's sense of nationalism is not as warped as perhaps in some other countries, where vaccine hoarding has become the norm. India is sharing it much more with a much bigger heart than any other country that they're supposed to be developed. And that have much greater resources. India's resources are limited. India's capabilities are limited, and yet Bangladesh in particular has become a beneficiary of India's largesse. And I think that's a message not simply for the Bangladeshi elites, but also for Bangladeshi people, that India remains a very, very important friend, right from 50 years back, when India played such an important role in the liberation of Bangladesh, to today, where India sees Bangladesh as an extension of the larger South Asian neighborhood, as a very close partner, and as a partner that is willing to contribute to Bangladesh's public health at a time of great critical necessity. So I think the message is very important, and the fact that the Prime Minister himself is delivering is very important.
Right, and also Bangladesh is India's biggest trade partner in South Asia, and bilateral trade in goods between India and Bangladesh fell 7.82% to 9 $2.45 billion in the 2019 to 2020 financial year as compared to the previous year. Now, emphasis will be on border infrastructure development and startups during this two-day visit. What can you tell us about that?
I think what is happening in the context of India-Bangladesh relations is this visits celebrates India's the 50 years of India's India-Bangladesh ties. The fact that again that India played such an important role in making the liberation of Bangladesh possible, and the warm people-to-people ties that exist from 1970s to today, when again, as you were discussing, vaccine Maitri becomes an important instrumentality in that regard. But what I think the issues that you talked about, connectivity, trade, startups, tell us that we are also in a position today to reimagine this relationship, to re-envision this relationship in the context of 21st century today. And that is I think what is very important, because Bangladesh is not the Bangladesh of 1970s today. Bangladesh is a dynamic economy. It is growing fast. It is one of the pillars of South Asian economic order along with India. And unless both of these countries work together to manage some of the contemporary challenges, I'm afraid South Asia cannot recover from the enormity of challenges it faces. And therefore, to make the relationship relevant to 21st century, connectivity is important. Connectivity is important because it would eventually link India, Bangladesh to larger Southeast Asian and East Asian landscape, which is very important. And again, in the context of the Indo-Pacific, it is important, because unless India, Bangladesh work together to make Bay of Bengal a central pillar of the Indo-Pacific context, Indo-Pacific will only remain on the papers. So from that perspective, it is important. Startups and technology cooperation is important, because that's going to be the driver of economies going forward. When you're looking at the future of work, when you're looking at what kind of role artificial intelligence, robotics, nanotech, biotech are going to play in our lives, just over the next decade, it is inevitable that countries like Bangladesh and India, which have infrastructure in place, should be working together in terms of co-development and co-production of these technologies, in terms of sharing of ideas, and in terms of bringing our youth together. So I think what I think the outcome of this summit or outcome of this engagement would highlight is that India and Bangladesh both remain committed to not only their old historical legacies, but also to make this relationship more contemporary, to make this relationship realistic, and to make this relationship part of the aspirations of our youth. Both India and Bangladesh are young countries, and therefore they need to work together to make some of these challenges workable and to provide solutions to some of these challenges. And I think that's what we will see during the summit.
Also, Mr. Pant, let's just shift our focus to the defense and security aspect of the bilateral relationship between New Delhi and Dhaka. Just before we let you go, how do you assess the plan in place for the same?
I think there are two things here which are important here. One, in terms of defense and security, we have seen greater degree of security cooperation between the two governments over the last few years than we have ever seen. When you talk of Sonar Bangla, Sonar Bangla, and when you talk of in golden era in India-Bangladesh ties, there is a sense that that India and Bangladesh, which used to be at loggerheads on issues like border security, on issues like extremism, terrorism, on issues like regional security order, today are on the same page. There are no differences here. As far as the two countries are concerned, they are cooperating very, very closely on intelligence sharing. They are cooperating very closely on counter-terror and in countering radicalization and extremism. Both countries face similar challenges, and both have recognized that they have to work together. But also what is happening is perhaps a greater recognition that we also need to work together in terms of maritime security. And I think that is where a lot of push is going to come over the next few years. Because again, if India and Bangladesh have to make Bay of Bengal central to its role as a central pillar in the Indo-Pacific narrative, that is the region, that is the maritime geography which both of these countries will have to work together to protect and preserve, not only on the non-traditional security fronts, fisheries, maritime blue economy, etc., but also in traditional security aspects. And we know that there are several countries in the region that are now going to make their foray into Bay of Bengal, that are going to make Bay of Bengal much more contentious than it has ever been. And I think in that context, Bangladesh and India will have to be on the same page to guard the region against external threats, as well as to make sure that the next step in defense cooperation becomes much more ambitious. And that's what we are going to, I think, see over the next few years happening, because the convergence between the two sides is extremely important at this point.
All right, Mr. Pant, thank you so much for joining us with all those details. Thank you for your time. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.